In Japan, there is a mandatory vehicle inspection so brutal, so thorough, that most owners sell their cars before they even have to go through it a second time. It is called shaken, and it is the reason why Japanese used cars are considered the best maintained vehicles on the planet. Mechanics in Japan do not just fix problems, they prevent them from ever happening, and the results speak for themselves. A 2008 Toyota Land Cruiser with 546,000 miles on the original drivetrain. A 2007 4Runner with 511,500 miles, same owner since day one. A Toyota Tacoma that crossed 1.6 million miles. These are not fairy tales. These are real vehicles from real owners who followed a very specific maintenance philosophy. Today I am breaking down the exact Japanese mechanic method to preparing your SUV for 500,000 miles. And if you think it is just about oil changes, you are not even close. Step 10. Choose your platform wisely. Before you turn a single wrench, the 500,000-mile journey starts at the dealership. Japanese mechanics will tell you this straight. You cannot maintain your way out of a badly engineered vehicle. Toyota, Honda, and Subaru consistently dominate reliability rankings from J.D. Power and Consumer Reports. An IC Cars study found that Toyota dominates the list of vehicles most likely to reach 250,000 miles or more, with the Land Cruiser and Sequoia leading the pack. Here is why Japanese SUVs specifically hold up. Body-on-frame construction. Naturally aspirated engines with proven track records spanning decades. Toyota's legendary 2 UZF EV8 and 1 GRFE EV6 have been refined across multiple generations until they became nearly indestructible. Meanwhile, manufacturers chasing turbochargers and continuously variable transmissions are watching transmissions fail at 60,000 miles. The Japanese approach is conservative by design. They perfect what already works rather than chasing the latest trend. If you want 500,000 miles, start with a platform that was built to get there. A 4Runner, Land Cruiser, Sequoia, Lexus GX, or a Honda Pilot with a naturally aspirated powertrain. That's your foundation. Everything else is a gamble. Step 9. Follow the shaken mindset, not just the oil change schedule. Here is what most American owners get completely wrong. They think maintenance means changing the oil every 5,000 miles and calling it a day. In Japan, vehicle owners are legally obligated to undergo comprehensive inspections every single year. Not just the biennial shaken, but also a legally mandated 12-month inspection that covers about 60 checkpoints. That is every year. Brakes, suspension, steering, emissions, exhaust, undercarriage, the whole vehicle gets scrutinized from bumper to bumper. The shaken inspection itself is administered by the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport, and Tourism. It checks everything from headlight alignment and brake roller performance to exhaust emissions and speedometer accuracy. If your vehicle fails even one test, you cannot legally drive it on public roads. Period. No exceptions. This is not some quick state inspection where they glance at your taillights. This is a systematic, component-by-component evaluation that forces owners to address every single issue before it becomes a catastrophic failure. And that right there is the core philosophy. Japanese mechanics treat maintenance like a comprehensive health exam, not a quick checkup. Adopt that same mindset. Every 6 months, go through your entire vehicle systematically. Do not just check what is broken, check what is about to break. Step 8. Master your fluids like your engine's life depends on it, because it does. Japanese mechanics obsess over fluid health, not just levels but condition. There is a critical difference. Toyota recommends inspecting transmission fluid every 30,000 miles and replacing it between 60,000 and 100,000 miles, depending on driving conditions. If you drive in stop-and-go traffic, tow anything, or live in a hot climate, Toyota considers that severe duty. That means more frequent changes, closer to every 30,000 to 50,000 miles. Old transmission fluid loses its friction properties, absorbs moisture, and causes slipping, overheating, and eventually complete failure. A transmission rebuild costs $3,000 to $8,000. A fluid change costs $150 to $350. The math is not complicated, and it does not stop at the transmission. Perform a coolant flush every 50,000 to 60,000 miles to prevent corrosion in the radiator and engine block. Replace brake fluid to prevent moisture absorption that leads to brake fade and line corrosion. Change differential and transfer case fluid every 30,000 miles if you have four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Inspect and replace power steering fluid to prevent pump failure. One 4Runner owner with over 328,000 miles on his original drivetrain said his secret was simple. He drained the radiator fluid every 30,000 miles, used seafoam oil conditioner before every oil change, and never skipped a fluid interval. That is the Japanese way. Fluids are cheap. Engines and transmissions are not. Step 7. Oil changes are non-negotiable, and you're probably doing them wrong. Use synthetic oil every 5,000 to 7,500 miles. No debate. If you're running conventional oil, you should be changing it every 3,000 miles or every 3 months, whichever comes first. And here is something critical that many owners overlook. Time matters just as much as mileage. If you only drive 3,000 miles a year, you still need oil changes every 6 months because engine oil degrades over time. Seals dry out, fluids absorb moisture, and components deteriorate even when the vehicle sits. Japanese mechanics also emphasize using the correct oil weight specified by the manufacturer. Not heavier, not lighter, exactly what the manual says. The engine was tuned for a specific viscosity, and deviating from it causes inefficiency and accelerated wear. The same goes for fuel. Using the octane rating your manual specifies, whether that is regular or premium, keeps the engine running as designed. Higher octane is not automatically better. It just costs more if your engine was not tuned for it. Pair your oil changes with an oil filter swap every single time. A clean filter removes contaminants that would otherwise circulate through your engine, grinding away at internal components. One mechanic and shop owner put it bluntly. Harsh driving takes years off a car. Flooring the gas pedal, hard braking, and skipping warm-up time reduces the lifespan of both the engine and transmission. Hey, before we get to the next 6 steps that will actually get your SUV to 500,000 miles, do me a favor. Hit that like button if you're getting value from this. It genuinely helps the channel. Step 6. Protect the undercarriage or watch your frame rot away. This is the silent killer. Rust does not announce itself. It starts underneath where you never look, and by the time you see it, the damage is catastrophic. In Japan, the combination of well-maintained roads and a culture of meticulous vehicle care means undercarriages stay pristine for decades. But if you are driving in North America, especially in the Rust Belt or coastal areas, road salt and brine will eat through your frame if you do not fight back. The Japanese method here is proactive, not reactive. Apply an undercoating treatment before winter, not after damage appears. Oil-based rust proofing like fluid film or wool wax needs to be reapplied annually, and it penetrates into seams and crevices that hard coatings miss. Rubberized coatings last 3 to 5 years, but they must be applied to a clean, rust-free surface, or they will trap moisture underneath and accelerate the corrosion. For SUVs with body-on-frame construction, getting rust-proofing inside the frame rails is absolutely critical. That is where moisture collects and where structural failure begins. Wash your undercarriage every 2 to 4 weeks during winter. Do not park on damp surfaces for extended periods. Inspect the underside at least once a year. A professional undercoating runs $300 to $1,000, but frame replacement runs into the tens of thousands if it is even possible. Prevention wins every single time. Step 5. Brakes, suspension, and steering. The triangle that keeps you alive. Japanese inspections do not just check if the brakes work. They test stopping power on rollers, measure pad thickness, inspect calipers for leaks, and examine brake lines for corrosion. You should be doing the same. Inspect brake pads at every tire rotation and replace them when they hit 3 millimeters of thickness. Check rotors for warping and replace them if they are worn below specification. Corroded brake lines are a ticking time bomb, especially on high-mileage vehicles. Steel lines rust from the inside out, and when they fail, you lose all braking power. That is not a repair bill, that is a potential fatality. Suspension components, meaning your shocks, struts, bushings, ball joints, and tie rods, all wear gradually. You do not notice it because it happens over thousands of miles. But worn suspension destroys tire life, kills handling, and puts extra stress on every other component. One 4Runner owner at 350,000 miles described going through numerous suspension components throughout the vehicle's life. That is normal and expected. The key is replacing worn parts before they damage everything around them. Get your alignment checked at least once a year and after any suspension work. Misalignment causes uneven tire wear and forces steering components to work harder than they should. Step 4. Timing belts and chains. Miss this and your engine is done. If your SUV has a timing belt, replacement is typically due between 90,000 and 100,000 miles. Miss this interval and the belt can snap, and in interference engines, the pistons can crash into the valves. That is a destroyed engine. Game over. Replace the water pump at the same time since the labor overlaps, and water pumps typically fail around the same mileage. Timing chains are more durable, but they are not maintenance-free. They stretch over time and need inspection as mileage climbs. One high-mileage 4Runner owner noted that his biggest repair over hundreds of thousands of miles was a water pump replacement at 250,000 miles. That is it, because he never missed a scheduled interval. Step 3. Don't ignore the electrical system. Aging wires, corroded connectors, and failing sensors cause cascading problems that are expensive to diagnose and fix. Japanese mechanics check battery terminals for corrosion regularly, and they clean the terminals with baking soda and water before buildup becomes an issue. They inspect alternator and starter connections, and they look for frayed wiring and damaged insulation, particularly in areas exposed to heat and moisture. Your serpentine belt drives critical systems, including the alternator, the power steering pump, and the air conditioning compressor. If it snaps, everything goes down simultaneously. Inspect it every 30,000 miles and replace it at the first sign of cracking or glazing. Check spark plugs at 60,000 miles and replace them by 100,000 miles. Fouled or worn spark plugs waste fuel, reduce power, and increase emissions. Step 2. Drive like you want to keep it. This sounds basic, but it is the most overlooked factor in vehicle longevity. Japanese car culture emphasizes gentle driving, proper warm-up procedures, and treating the vehicle with respect. Avoid flooring the accelerator from a stop, because that sends shock loads through the entire drivetrain. Coast to a stop when possible, rather than hard braking at the last second. Let the engine reach operating temperature before demanding full power from it. If your SUV has a four-wheel drive system, make a complete stop before engaging or disengaging it. Shifting into four-wheel drive on the fly puts stress on the transfer case and front differential and causes premature wear. One 4Runner owner who hit 350,000 miles said he stopped bombing down trails and started treating every drivetrain engagement with care around 250,000 miles. He credits that shift in driving behavior for getting those extra 100,000 miles and counting. Step 1. Build a relationship with your mechanic and keep every record. In Japan, specialized repair shops focus exclusively on specific brands. These mechanics understand the engineering quirks, common failure points, and the exact specifications for every model they service. They use original equipment manufacturer parts or high-quality equivalents, not the cheapest option on the shelf. Find a mechanic who specializes in your sport utility vehicle brand and stick with them. A mechanic who sees your vehicle regularly, understands its history, catches patterns, and spots problems that someone seeing it for the first time would miss. Documentation ties everything together. Keep every receipt, every fluid change record, and every inspection. Japanese used cars command premium prices globally because they come with complete service histories that prove every maintenance item was addressed on time. That same documentation protects your resale value and gives you a clear picture of what has been done and what is coming due next. A well-documented maintenance record has been shown to significantly increase resale value, even on vehicles with 500,000 miles or more. Reaching 500,000 miles is not about luck. It is about discipline, consistency, and treating every maintenance interval as if it matters, because it does. That's all for today. If you found this valuable, hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And subscribe so you don't miss our next breakdown. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.